Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for Black Friday coverage is Cohen, Chief Marketing Officer at What If Media Group, a performance marketing firm, to discuss how consumers in various parts of the country are uniquely experiencing the effects of COVID-19 and responding to it differently with how and where they do their holiday shopping. Jordan, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me.
What are the top states for e-commerce and what's interesting about the results?
Oh, yeah. So the top states for e-commerce really are every state in the country. I will give you a more direct answer about the top states. But this year, shopping has radically changed on three fronts. When people are shopping, how they're shopping, how much they're spending. And the biggest macro trend has been this acceleration of e-commerce. Actually, believe it or not, as much as e-commerce has been a big deal and growing over the past couple of years, still the number one way that consumers have been shopping for their holiday gifts has been predominantly at brick and mortar locations. This is the first year that we're seeing more people say that they're going to be doing the majority of their shopping online. And to answer your question directly about which states are shopping the most online, it's actually states in the Northeast, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Maine, where I live. States that either were hit hard very early in the pandemic, like New York and New Jersey, where people are a little bit reticent, a little bit probably battle scarred from knowing people who caught the disease. And then states like Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, where we had governors who were very strict early on and took very aggressive measures early on to restrict the flow of populations in and out of the states, and really were telling people to stay home. So it's those states that actually were very aggressive about responding to COVID back in March, April at the beginning. And those states that got hit the hardest and even are kind of out of the woods relative to the rest of the country when it comes to infection rates per 100,000, those states are still the ones that seem to be the most vigilant in terms of not going into physical retail locations this holiday season.
What does the research say about how much consumers will spend?
Yeah, so at What If Media Group, we've been tracking, the macro impact of COVID for the entire year, and this is the first year that, or in a very long time, I've been in direct response marketing for about 20 years, and I do research every year to see what folks are going to be doing, if they're going to be spending more or less. This year, 2/3 of Americans say that they're making less money today than they did last year. We usually don't hear that. So this is the first year that we're seeing more people say that they're going to be spending less money than they did last year. The default answer is usually about the same or more. Still, most people say they're going to be spending about the same, but what's flip-flopped or seesawed, if you will, is that this year more people are saying that they're going to spend less relative to the number of consumers who say they're going to spend more.
Did you see any trends in the states now worst affected by COVID-19 as it relates to spend?
I can't really pick on any states. I have the data in terms of, which states have been hit the hardest by it, or are spending the least. They are. I'm just going to look and make sure that I give it to you accurately. But, we're seeing Nebraska, Rhode Island, New Mexico, Kentucky, Indiana. There is really no rhyme or reason behind it that I could ascertain. I don't want to really pick on those states in particular because, again, the nation as a whole has been financially impacted by COVID. So those states just happen to be at the top of the list. But I really would say that it's across the board. It's all 50 plus District of Columbia. Unfortunately, folks have been hit, and they're going to be spending less this holiday season.
Jordan, did Americans start to shop earlier this year?
Yes, that was one of the interesting trends. So today is Black Friday, but I've been joking, that Black Friday was last Friday. It was the Friday before that. What we found in our research, so by the way, we surveyed over 30,000 Americans in October. The majority of Americans say that they're going to be doing their holiday shopping throughout the entire month of November. A very significant portion had already started in October. December as a whole is the next answer choice, actually, ahead of Black Friday. So when it comes to rank order of months and specific days like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Small Business Saturday, Black Friday, while it historically has been the day that Americans have been coming out in droves and doing their holiday shopping, that's not the case this year. Folks have started earlier. Retailers have started offering discounts much earlier. You've probably seen it in your own experience, whether you're shopping online or in stores. I was getting Black Friday emails, 3 weeks ago. And you've seen retailers offering deep discounts throughout the year, but really start their holiday promotions a lot sooner. And consumers have been shopping sooner.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm one of those people that would not dream of going to a retail location on Black Friday, but will certainly shop online. I've taken advantage of it. And as you mentioned, the Black Friday specials have been spectacular. What's the data say about shoppers by age group on Black Friday? Are there any trends you can discern from that?
Yeah, interestingly, it's kind of in perfect sequential order. The folks taking advantage of Black Friday, and that is kind of a surprise to me, tend to be younger. So when we look at the cohort starting at, the 19 to 25 or something like that, and then going straight through to senior citizens, you see kind of a perfect line down and to the right in terms of those that are really going to be taking advantage of Black Friday as their shopping day relative to kind of all year long shopping. So younger consumers in particular are the ones that have been really looking towards Black Friday, have been kind of conditioned to it. And one thing I'll note is that, coming from direct marketing, data-driven marketing, digital marketing, I've been in the online marketing space for 20 years. We made a big deal about Cyber Monday, probably, 5, 10, 20 years ago. That got really exciting, Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday's kind of gone away. There will be Cyber Monday. You'll see those deals in your inboxes 3 days from now. But Black Friday really took over in the minds of younger consumers as the day where you're going to get the best deals, whether it is in-store or online. So younger consumers, just because they have been the ones that were, e-commerce first adopters, they're the most comfortable with it, and they've been the most conditioned to expect those deals on that specific day. So that probably explains why we're seeing the younger cohort being the most likely to be doing the most spending today.
Yeah, interesting, Jordan. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.